Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Hearties find WCTH, couple Elizabeth and Nathan romances is awkward. A couple of seasons back, WCTH fans got a shocker when Elizabeth dumped her fiancé Lucas. Then she moved on with Mountie Nathan Grant. This caused a rift in the Hearty world, with Team Lucas and Team Nathan at odds. However, now that this is the second season of Aaron Krakow and Kevin McGarry's character's love story, even fans on the Team Nathan side are finding this relationship awkward. What do these fans have to say? For the past 2 seasons of WCTH, Elizabeth has been dating Nathan. A few seasons ago, she was part of a love triangle with Nathan and Lucas. However, after ending her engagement to Lucas, she started to date the Mountie. This made Team Nathan happy. They had been waiting for this for a long time. However, the glow from that relationship has dimmed. On Reddit, one Hearty wrote in a thread entitled Elizabeth and Nathan *, I have to say it took me a while. And I'm still not thrilled with them being together, however. I can't put my finger on it, but they're so awkward in their scenes together. Has anyone else noticed it? I don't feel like she was that way with Jack or Lucas. They just seem awkward. I can't think of any other word. It's kind of uncomfortable watching the scenes with them together. Does anybody else feel that way? They're both very good actors with all the other cast members. It's just when the two of them are alone. This Hearty likes the actors Aaron Krakow and Kevin McGarry. However, she finds that the Elizabeth and Nathan relationship is awkward. Was this poster alone in this feeling? What did WCTH fans say about the awkward Elizabeth and Nathan relationship? One WCTH fans posted on social media that they find the Elizabeth and Nathan relationship awkward. Did other Hearties agree? Here are some of the responses. While these Hearties, some Team Nathan, agreed with the original poster, there were a couple that did like the on-screen couple. In the cozy, postcard-perfect town of Hope Valley, where every sunrise promises a new adventure, and every sunset wraps the day in golden warmth, romance is supposed to bloom like the wildflowers dotting the prairie. But for fans of When Calls the Heart, the beloved Hallmark series affectionately known as WCTH, the much-anticipated romance between Elizabeth Thornton and Nathan Grant has sparked a very different kind of conversation. Awkward, forced, and why can't they just be friends? Are just a few of the words Hearties have used to describe the budding relationship between these two. But how did a pairing that seemed so full of promise end up with fans cringing rather than swooning? Let's take a closer look. The setup, a new hope, a new romance. Elizabeth Thornton, the ever-resilient school teacher turned town pillar, has always been at the heart of Hope Valley's stories. After enduring heartbreak, loss, and challenges that would have flattened most, she somehow always rises with grace. Nathan Grant, a newcomer with a mysterious past and rugged charm, steps into Hope Valley looking for a fresh start. On paper, it sounds like a match made in prairie heaven. Yet from their first scenes together, the chemistry was, well, complicated. The first date fiasco, when hearts race and words fail. Their first date was set against a backdrop of blooming lilacs and soft twilight. A perfect setting for romance. But Elizabeth and Nathan's conversation was filled with stilted pauses and awkward silences that felt more like a middle school dance than a mature love story. Do you like the stars? Nathan asked, awkwardly breaking a silence so thick it could be cut with a knife. Elizabeth blinked, unsure how to answer. Yes. They're nice. Fans online quickly dubbed this exchange the stargazing standoff, sharing memes of Elizabeth and Nathan staring at the sky like two penguins who just discovered each other. Missteps and miscommunications. The awkward dance of courtship. As their story progressed, their attempts at romance often felt clumsy. Nathan, who was trying so hard to be charming, sometimes ended up sounding like he was reading from a script he barely understood. Elizabeth, on the other hand, seemed caught between being intrigued and utterly perplexed by Nathan's unpredictable mood swings. One episode saw Nathan attempting to impress Elizabeth by fixing the town's old water pump, a noble effort that resulted in an exploding geyser soaking half of Hope Valley. Elizabeth's response, a hesitant laugh, which fans interpreted as, "Is this really happening? Why can't they just talk to each other like normal people?" Hearties wondered aloud on forums. Their dialogue feels so awkward it's distracting. The Hearties speak up. Hearties are a passionate bunch, known for their deep investment in When Calls the Heart. So when Elizabeth and Nathan's romance felt more like a cringeworthy comedy than a heartfelt drama, fans didn't hold back. Twitter and Instagram exploded with fan reactions, from playful teasing to genuine frustration. Elizabeth and Nathan's love story feels like a bad rom-com. Can we get a script rewrite? I want to like them, but every scene they share is so uncomfortable. Maybe they need couples therapy. I'm rooting for them, but also hiding behind the couch during their awkward moments. Even fanfiction writers tried to salvage the couple, scripting smoother conversations and more believable chemistry, proving that Hearties just want to see Elizabeth happy, awkwardness aside. Behind the scenes, what's really going on? Some fans speculated the awkwardness wasn't just a writing issue. Rumors swirled about the actors' chemistry off-screen or last-minute script changes that left their scenes feeling disjointed. An insider once whispered to a fan blogger, "The writers are trying to evolve Elizabeth's story, but Nathan's character is still finding his footing. It's like watching two puzzle pieces that don't quite fit yet." This insider's take resonated with many fans who felt that with more time and better writing, Elizabeth and Nathan could evolve into a genuine, relatable couple. The silver lining. Awkward moments are real moments. If there's one thing Hearties love about When Calls the Heart, it's that it portrays imperfect people living imperfect lives, learning and growing together. Awkwardness, after all, is a universal experience. In that light, Elizabeth and Nathan's awkward romance is oddly refreshing. It's not a fairy tale where everything falls neatly into place. It's the clumsy first steps of two people trying to navigate new feelings while carrying their own pasts. Fans who initially rolled their eyes at the awkward dialogues began to appreciate the vulnerability behind the fumbling words. After all, how many of us can claim to be smooth romantic leads? A turning point, when hearts open up. The real turning point came during an emotional episode where Nathan opens up about his past mistakes and fears. Elizabeth listens, really listens, and the awkwardness melts away into something much more genuine. Viewers finally saw a glimpse of the deep connection fans had hoped for. The stilted conversations gave way to heartfelt exchanges. The awkwardness was replaced by quiet understanding. Hearties cheered. "This is the Nathan we've been waiting for. Finally, some real growth." What's next for Elizabeth and Nathan? With the romance still very much a work in progress, the future of Elizabeth and Nathan remains a hot topic. Hearties remain divided. Some are hopeful this awkward start is just the beginning of a beautifully complex love story, while others remain skeptical. One thing's for sure, the writers have their work cut out for them. To turn awkward into adored, Elizabeth and Nathan's story will need authentic dialogue, emotional depth, and moments that feel earned, not forced. Final thoughts. Embracing imperfection in Hope Valley. The story of Elizabeth and Nathan's awkward romance reminds us that real love isn't always graceful. It's messy, uncertain, and sometimes downright uncomfortable. But maybe that's why Hearties find it so relatable. Because in the end, it's a love story that feels real, flaws and all. In Hope Valley, even awkward love has its place under the vast, starry prairie sky.